What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Command and Console. My name is Jason. Today we're talking about some random and obscure PS5 games I've picked up. I've played about an hour of these each, so I've got some kind of little bit of first impression opinions to talk about. These were about £10 to £15 each. They were super cheap on eBay, and I thought I'm just going to take a risk and pick up these random titles. Let's get to those games. The first game in this video is called Atari Mania. Now you guys are probably asking yourself, Atari's not obscure. I guess it's subjective, but I never heard of this game until I saw it on eBay. It was like a tenner, so I picked it up. It's like a remix of a classic Atari games, little mini challenges, kind of similar to NES remix for the 3DS if people played that one. But there's a whole story around this game about this museum, and there's dead pixels everywhere, and they want to consume the classic Atari titles. You get consumed as well, but you've got to beat all these challenges to just basically to destroy these dead pixels and reclaim the lost Atari titles. Now, I felt this game to be kind of not for me, really. I can see a lot of people that like kind of having a kind of like a new take on these classic games, new little ways of using these classic titles to create a new experience. I think people might enjoy this, but for me, I found it a bit monotonous and a bit kind of not engaging enough for me. That's just me, right? I felt it to be quite simple, a bit too simple, but I guess people say Atari is simple. But yeah, I felt like the story was fine for the most part from what I played the first hour or so of it. Yeah, I didn't really grab me, that one, but I'm sure there's enough here for people to like if you want that kind of NES remix but Atari kind of style thing, where you're just doing challenges that take about 10 seconds to do. You have a time limit on these challenges, and it takes you one to the other until you get to the boss, which is like the ultimate challenge. But yeah, this game is fairly cool for what it is, but it just wasn't for me. If this sounds like your cup of tea, go and look out for it. Atari Mania. It's a pretty interesting one for PS5, and an interesting way for Atari to bring their name back in some kind of relevancy. And I think the people that might get the most out of this one are people that grew up with the Atari 2800 and those old kind of games before the NES came out. I think this might be up your street if you grew up with that machine, but I had no kind of prior knowledge of Atari 2800 or the games, really. I know about it and how it kind of led towards the video game crash of America in 1982. But aside from that, I'm very unfamiliar with a lot of its games, if not all of the games. But yeah, this might be fun for those who grew up with it. For me, it's a bit not for me, really. Like, it didn't really hold my attention for too long, unfortunately. That's Atari Mania. The next game is a game by a publisher that I've been noticing quite a lot, that has been putting out some really just kind of almost like very low budget indie games. It's called 41 Hours. This is by a publisher called Funbox Media. This is a kind of like a open level maps where you've got to achieve objectives, and you can basically, you've got a gun, you can go around shooting, you get weapons, but also you get abilities like you can cloak yourself so you're invisible, you can manipulate time and stuff like that. I didn't get to the later abilities because I only played about an hour of this, so I only ever unlocked the cloak part of the abilities. But this game is it's very simple, but I found it quite challenging. I played it on easy as well. You had beginner, easy, medium and hard. I played it on the easy difficulty, and it still kicked my ass from time to time. I still died quite a bit in the first hour of gameplay. The enemies, they hit hard. I think there might be hit scanner enemies as well, so they're always going to hit you. If they see you, they're going to hit you. So it made for an interesting way of like juggling, your cloak and making sure you are hiding in houses. The thing of this game is, when you go into houses, enemies don't really follow you into houses, so houses tend to be a good hiding spot to not get hit or just to de-aggro enemies in this. So I found it quite interesting. I'm actually really excited to play some more of this, because I felt like, sure, it's very low budget, The controls feel a little bit clunky. Like I had to press really hard on the analog stick, left analog stick, click it in to sprint. It felt like I almost wanted me to break my fucking controller to even just sprint. But I digress. Some games, yeah, it's super low budget. But I feel like all the basic mechanics in that it introduces in this work as expected, as explained in the game. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one for what I played of it. Very addictive, because I felt like even though I died a few times, I was all about wanting to play some more of it, and I'll try again and see how far I can get. The only negative I will say is that I feel like the map is a bit too large in what I played, and the objectives are like really far apart, so you're more than likely gonna die because you're gonna run into enemies that can kill you quite quickly if you're not careful. But yeah, this game is interesting. I'm really intrigued to see where it goes story wise. It's kind of presented like a comic book style story with like comic book panels, and the voice acting seems to be pretty decent for what I expect wasn't much of a budget in this game. But yeah, the general I'm not really sure what the general story is, because I don't think I really was paying attention too much, but something to do with the main character's literally got 41 hours to do something before something happens. Right, I need to start paying attention to these stories. But the whole point of this was to get the first impression of the game, and I feel like the game is pretty good. And for about a tenner, I'd say give it a look. It's very low budget. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It's a first person shooter with time manipulation and powers. And yeah, I think it could be a little kind of almost like hidden gem, I suppose. Hidden gem on the PS5. That's 41 hours. We've got 2 more games here. These next 2 are probably the best of the bunch in my opinion. The next game is called Gal Guardians Demon Purge. Now this is a action kind of adventure, 2D action adventure game. I thought it was kind of going to be a Metroidvania, but I don't think it's quite that at all. It's quite linear, more of a straightforward kind of game. It's very kind of inspired by Castlevania, no doubt. Where you play as 2 sisters that are demon hunters, and on your way to school, your world is kind of fused with like the demon realm, and then you've basically got to go and fight your way through this castle that's materialized in place of your school and rescue other students while also killing all kinds of demons, right? This game is really fun. Both sisters have different abilities that they can activate. You can swap between the 2 on the fly, so it's always fun. One sister is melee focused, and the other sister is got guns and can shoot and can throw daggers and stuff. So one is more projectile based, the other character is more melee focused. So it's got a good kind of like juggling act between what enemies are, you know, easier to dispatch via projectiles versus others that are easier to take out with your melee attacks. This game was really fun. I felt it really challenged as well. The boss fights were challenging. But yeah, I think if you're into Castlevania and that kind of stuff, I think you might enjoy this one. It's really fun. And yeah, never heard of this one before. It was like a tenner. Like, these games weren't expensive, guys. They were really cheap. And yeah, I want to play more of this one as well. This one was really cool. That's Gal Guardians Demon Purge. Really cool art style as well, I'd say. If you're not into that anime style, you might, you know, turn your nose up at it. But I feel like when it concerns pixel art games, this game looks amazing as a pixel art game. So if you're into that, I think you really would like it as well. I'm expecting the combat to get deeper and deeper as we go along in this as well. And there's like a tag team attack you can do with the 2 sisters, where you put all your energy together to do one massive attack that deals huge damage on bosses and stuff like that. So there's a lot of depth here, I reckon. I'm predicting a lot of depth to come out of this game, and I'm looking forward to see where it goes. That's Gal Guardians. The final game in this video is the best of the bunch in my opinion. I played this for way too long. I look at my last night. I was capturing footage for this last night, and this one, it was about 11 o'clock at night. I put this on. Before I knew it, I looked at the time. It was like 2 in the morning. So I played this for a good 3 hours. It's awesome. It's called Withering Rooms. This is basically the biggest mashup of genres ever. It's a survival horror, Metroidvania, RPG roguelike, because it's got all those elements in it. This game is awesome. The art direction's amazing. The story's interesting. It's kind of like Alice in Wonderland, but you're Nightingale, and you're stuck in this nightmare, this dream, and you've got to dispatch loads of evil and do a lot of survival horror stuff, as you expect. Find items, you know, find them to move on. Yeah, it's just fucking awesome. This game is awesome. I want to go and play more of it because it's really cool. Death is not the end of this game. You do kind of respawn back in the original room that you started the game in. And what the cool thing about this game is, with the mansion you're in, is that it's always changing. So when you die and wake up again in the nightmare, it does, the mansion shifts. So all the rooms you opened up and went in, they will all change the next time round. So it's got that kind of roguelike element, and you don't retain all the items you had. There might be like permanent items you can find that you always will have night after night, but things like weapons and first aid and stuff like that, those won't carry over when you die. So it's all about finding that stuff again and getting yourself well equipped to fight the monsters in this game. The monsters in this game are pretty awesome as well. You've got like zombies, you've got like a big kind of almost like, I feel like it's like a werewolf covered in a sheet that poisons you. They look cool. Like I said, the art design in this game is so cool. And yeah, and it's all about, like, you know, searching rooms for stuff, fighting enemies, following the quest line. And the game is fairly linear in the sense that once you find the item you need to progress, you can progress quite easily. But it's all about the combat. It's really hardcore. You will get your ass kicked. I died so many times in my 3 hours of this. But I just wanted to carry on playing because it's so engrossing. It's so fun. And I can't wait to get further on and get some more kind of hard-hitting weapons later on. I've only got like a lead pipe at the moment. It does fairly good damage at the beginning, but I can imagine the more difficult enemies I'm going to face later is probably going to do pittance in terms of damage. But I've seen footage where you get like massive axes and stuff, so I'm looking forward to getting some more kind of badass weapons. But yeah, yeah, this game is literally Alice in Wonderland, but you're in Nightmare World, and your little kid, your little child Nightingale, you're like 15 years old in this game, to a point where you literally get Alice. You get the Alice dress from Alice in Wonderland. So it's basically a survival horror Alice in Wonderland. This game is awesome. Go and check it out. It's super cheap right now. Like I said, I picked this up for like a tenner. It's so good. Withering Rooms, survival horror, Metroidvania, RPG roguelike. It's a mouthful, guys, but yeah, this game, best of the bunch. I absolutely loved it. I can't wait to play more of it. Might be, again, a hidden gem on the PS5. Oh my god, this is so good. Yeah, gonna be playing more of that later on. It's awesome. That is Withering Rooms. So that is it, guys. Those are 4 random games that I picked up and had a little dabble in recently. Yeah, enjoyed myself playing these, and maybe like, Atari Mania really wasn't for me, but I digress. I did play a couple of other games as well in this kind of like checking out games, but I didn't really capture enough footage for those or really get very far, so I didn't feel they were necessary to talk about in this video in particular. But these ones, pretty good, all things considered. A lot to like here. I'm really surprised. I'd love to do more videos like this where I just take a random group of games, play about an hour of them, and just give you my thoughts. I think that'd be a cool little series on this channel. The cool thing about these is that I'm able to record footage on my PS5 with these, so I'm able to get footage fairly easily. So this might be the way forward with more modern kind of games, and talking about modern games that I love, or modern games that I'm trying out, for example. Anyway, enough of my waffling. As always, guys, let me know any of your thoughts on these games in the comments down below. And as always, thank you so much for all the subscribers, all of the people that comment, everybody that supports my channel. It's been an amazing couple of years of this channel. 2,000 subscribers hit. We're on our way already to 3,000 subscribers. I'm just want to make these videos recommending games to people, talking games, doing the streams were fun as well. I love doing those streams, just chatting bollocks as we do. But as always, guys, let's continue to recommend games for your collection.